Kings and Queens, welcome back to another ESG football video. For those who don't know, ESG football is a future free-to-play game that's going to feature 7v7 and 11v11, and I honestly think it's going to be one of the greatest games in our generation. Now, what I want to talk about today is more so the meta and how it might shape out, because I just had a thought, right? And I'm chilling and I'm thinking, I'm like, there aren't any substitutions in ESG football, right? So the personnel you get at the beginning of the game is the personnel you keep for the whole game, right? And let's just start with 7-on-7 since that's what's going to be available first when the game drops. Let's say you got a traditional team, which would look like two wide receivers, a running back, a quarterback, and three linemen, right? That would be a traditional team, right? And traditionally, the two wide receivers would play corner. Maybe the quarterback would play safety. The running back would play linebacker. Your center might play linebacker. And your two tackles might play defensive tackle. Defensive end. That would be a traditional team. But you don't have to play traditionally if you don't want to. So instead of two wide receivers, you can make two bigger tight ends, right? So now your team doesn't have any wide receivers, right? But you got two bigger players that block really well. And y'all just going to go two tight ends, whole game, at the end of the line of scrimmage, and you're just going to run it down the throat of the other team, right? That would be an option. We don't have any wide receivers, but we're built to run, and we're going to get our big tight ends up on your small corners. We're going to knock them over, and we're moving up to the safeties, and we're getting out of there, right? So we're going to be run first, two tight ends all game. Or you could go no running back, three wide receivers, spread the defense out all game, right? You know we're passing, but we're going to have mismatches because we have three wide receivers. You're going to have to put a safety or a linebacker on one of these wide receivers, and we plan on exploiting that mismatch all game, right? And as a defense, if you're traditional, you're going to be a DB short on the three wide receiver team, and you're going to be too small to stop the run on paper against the two tight end team. But balance would be the safest bet, I'm guessing, right? Even though it doesn't really give you any advantages on either side of the ball. It just keeps you in the middle. And then when you go to 11 on 11, it just gets worse. A two tight end team now doesn't have zero wide receivers. Maybe they just got one. And they want to run it down your throat. Or maybe they have four wide receivers and a running back that runs routes really well, and they go five wide all game. And now if you're balanced, a traditional 11 on 11 team, you got four linemen or three linemen, three or four linebackers, two corners, two safeties. You're going to need some extra DBs, but you can't just sub in a new package like you can on a game like like Madden. You're going to have to figure out a way to stop all these wide receivers with your personnel. And I think that's what's going to end up shaping the meta. How can I give my team an advantage personnel-wise? Maybe it's five wide. Maybe it's two tight end. Like, you know what I'm saying? And exploit the advantage I get on offense and then cover the weaknesses it gives me on defense. Because obviously if you go five wide because you got 4 or 5 wide receivers on offense, you're going to have a lot of DBs on defense and you'll be more susceptible to the run. Well, if we could still find a way to stop the run with all these DBs, and then that's the ideal situation because I got all my advantages on offense with all my wide receivers, and you don't have enough DBs to stop all of them. And on defense, when you try to run the ball on me, we found a way to stop that too, and that's going to lead to wins, and vice versa. If I got my tight ends and we run the ball down your throat, and now we're a bigger team that you can try to spread out when we get on defense, and we still find a way to stop the pass, even with all these bigger linebackers and linemen on the field. Maybe we're blitzing, maybe we're getting pressure on the quarterback, whatever it may be. Whatever our strength is, we exploit it, and whatever our weakness is, we cover it. And I think that's what's going to be the difference in the good teams in ESG and the bad teams in ESG. And I really hope ESG allows for that type of expression from team to team, personnel-wise. Because just because you have a certain personnel, you don't even have to pick that package. We might have two tight ends, but we still might want to spread our tight ends out every now and then like wide receivers. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it'll basically come down to, this is our optimal package because this is what we have the personnel for. But maybe we can't run it because they're stopping it. Or maybe we just want to give you a different look on this 4th and 1. Like, you know what I'm saying? They just, as long as that type of player expression is allotted in ESG football, I'm telling you, that's why I say it's shaping up to be the greatest game of our generation, because of stuff like that. Because our personnel says we should run this, and we should have an advantage when we run this. So that's what we do. And it says we're going to have this weakness, and this is how we cover it. Or our personnel says we should run this, but we're going to give you a different look because we're really good at doing this too. Man, I'm telling y'all, if this game just turns out anything like it turns out in my head, I'm telling y'all, man, we're in for a treat. But if you enjoyed the discussion, guys, like and subscribe. I'll see y'all next time.